Hello and welcome to another episode of the Uncommon Energy Podcast. On this week's episode, we're going to be breaking down the results of the Brisbane Regional Championships, which took place this past weekend. We're going to recap our predictions. Were some of us right? Were some of us wrong? We'll see all that. We will talk about a few new cards that have been revealed, some more Team Rockets cards in the mix. We're going to, of course, have Guess That Flavor Text, everyone's favorite segment of the podcast. We're going to wrap up this week by doing a little bit of a look ahead to what is going down over in Japan with the City League tournaments that have been happening, and then leading ahead to the Champions League tournament, which is happening this coming weekend. They're big time tournaments over there. So, very much excited to look forward to see what is going to happen there with they've got the newest cards available that we don't have available just yet for Atlanta, but still very exciting things to see. And then, of course, we will have our weekly bonus episode exclusive to our YouTube channel members and Spotify subscribers. My name is Chip Ritchie, and I'm joined here as always by my friend and co-host, Azul GG. What's up, Azul? How we doing, buddy? How has your week been?
It's been pretty good. I know I talk about this. I bring this up a lot. It's just like what I'm doing with my content stuff. But I am getting I have been back into the content a little bit more heavily. I took like actually I didn't even realize I didn't stream for like a month basically prior to a week or two before Journey Together. Things were a little bit dead. My tooth, being sick. I don't know, kind of just traveling as well, doing some actual traveling, competing in February. But streaming a lot. I didn't stream today and make a lot of videos as well. I didn't stream today because PTCG Live was down. I thought it was gonna be like their I knew they were doing maintenance today, but I thought it was gonna be that maintenance that they do every Tuesday where you can still play the game. But then I got up this morning and checked, and it was like, "Well, PTCG Live is down." I was like, "Alright, I'll go to the gym." Got back from the gym. It was still down, so I was like, "Alright, I'm gonna go out and do other stuff today." And I think it did come back around like 1:30 my time, so I could have still got a stream in, but I was out of the house at that time at that point, so didn't end up streaming today. So and it was kind of a bummer because I've been really enjoying just playing Pokemon. Right now, new format, a lot of decks to play, to be honest. We rotation happened, but it feels like the meta is more wide in terms of not viable competitive decks, but just kind of decks in general. A lot of like the uncompetitive decks, the more for fun decks are like really good right now. Or not really good, but like you can play them and it's not a miserable
Yeah,
experience.
they can
Like you can
compete.
yeah, you can beat like half the meta decks, and then the other half you're probably some of them you're pretty bad against, and the other ones are probably unfavorable. But like, and you would never bring these decks to a tournament, but it's like still an enjoyable experience to play on the ladder. So yeah, I've just been really enjoying Pokemon right now in general. And one thing I will mention about the Champions League tournament this weekend, they're playing in a format that we will never have. They have Heat Wave, but they don't have the Rockets Pokemon yet. And we're
Right.
getting Heat Wave, and we're going to get Heat Wave and the Rockets Pokemon together in our next set. So this has come up a couple times recently. I feel like the big format that we never got was the Buzzwole Tag Team
Yeah, I was literally
format.
thinking about that exact format. Yeah.
Yeah. So Buzzwole Tag Team was it Buzzwole and
Buzzwole
Pheromosa?
and Pheromosa and Buzzwole GX. Yep.
Yeah, Tag Team GX was never very good. What was it good in? It was good in like one deck. It was good in Beast
Yeah,
Box, right?
yeah, it was like a box
Was
type
that
deck.
Beast?
Yeah.
Yeah. But over in Japan, it was actually like a tier one deck, I want to say, like by
Yeah.
itself, like quad
It
Buzzwole
won a
GX Pheromosa.
Champions League.
Oh, okay, yeah. So even better than I thought it was doing. Also share your screen with me on the
Oh, yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
the thing. We had to reset, so it's not sure anymore. But yeah, yeah, so this is gonna be interesting to tune in. This will be a format that we'll never really have. So it'll be some interesting Pokemon that we'll never get to kind of participate in, which kind of sucks. And that kind of comes up with the release schedule of things like us versus Japan. Japan is playing the real game. We are playing a subversion of the real game. That is
Yeah.
that we basically play. I don't know. We probably play four formats, and Japan plays like six formats each year. So they play more Pokemon than we do in that sense. Because they'll also play when we get the Team Rocket set. They get that format as well. We just miss out on this Heat Wave format that they get to play. So yeah, I think it is like it's like 4 to 6. We get well, we they get like 8 or 9, and we get like 6 because of the special sets. So they get to play
Yeah.
more Pokemon formats than we do, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's kind of a bummer too whenever we miss out on things like this being a deck. Now this one is like I guess a little bit less interesting because it's just one of these like quad Pokemon decks that are it's kind of some of the least it's like
Yeah,
Iron Thorns, right? Some of the least interesting Pokemon decks. But I mean, it's like this was a deck. It was pretty good. It won a Champions League, right? But then it never had a chance to shine because Buzzwole and Pheromosa Tag Team GX came out in the exact same set as Reshiram and Charizard Tag Team. And that is a fire type that one hit
Yeah.
KOs Buzzwole Pheromosa very easily. So it just never even got off the ground. No chance for this deck.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And we'll take a look at, and we could there is possible there's some of that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. We're going to talk about Champions League coming up this weekend. For anyone who's wondering, I usually restream the Champions League, so I guess I'd go ahead and say this now for when we have the most amount of people tuning into the episode. They're only streaming one day, so the stream will only be on Saturday. Even if you don't watch my restream of the Champions League, if you're looking for the stream on Friday, if you like go to their main channel or whatever, it won't be there because apparently they're only streaming on Saturday. Not 100% confirmed, but someone came into my chat yesterday or the day before, or a couple days ago now, and they were like, "Did you hear that they're only streaming Saturday, day 2 of the Champions League?" And I was like, "No, I didn't." And then I went to the YouTube page, and they only have a live stream scheduled for Saturday and not one for Friday.
Hmm.
They over there in Japan, it's Saturday and Sunday. For us, it's Friday and Saturday. So I think that that is true, and it seems like they are only doing the stream on Saturday for whatever reason. It's unfortunate because it's a lot less content, a
I
lot less
wonder
times I can complain
why.
about the celebrity matches, but
Yeah, I wonder why they would do
it is a
that.
little off. It does feel a little weird. Yeah, it's weird. Maybe some kind of, like, production issues, like, maybe they couldn't get the equipment to the convention center, like, it's coming late or something. I don't know. It is definitely weird. Hopefully, it's not a continuous thing. I think there's only one more Champions League this season, and I can't I mean, for the Japan Championships, they definitely are gonna be
Yeah.
streaming both days, I would imagine, so, hopefully, we don't miss out on 2 days of the Japan or a day of the Japan Championship, so, but just a heads up for anyone who is gonna be tuning in. But, yeah, that's I thought I'd throw that out there immediately for, the stuff that's happening in Japan, and, that's how my week has been, but what about you, Chip? What were you up to?
Yeah, nothing too crazy here. I actually been playing a good bit of Pocket this week. I haven't really been super deep into it since like the second set, but I played it a little bit during the last couple ones, like played a little bit more when the Arceus set came out and got a little bit more interested in it. But then they released Ranked, which has been kind of cool. I've been playing a little bit on that. I'm not super deep into it, but I've played a handful of games so far. Um but yeah, I mean, yeah, Pocket seems pretty fun right now. And it was kind of a bummer too. This has been a little bit of a discussion point just because the whole like TCG live not having ranked or having ranked, right? Having Arceus, but we don't know what rank anyone is, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a ranked ladder. And then like seeing TCG Pocket do it the right way, right? Where you can actually see what rank people are. You get a little badge on your account that shows what rank you are currently. You can also click on the leaderboard to see like what other people's ranking is, and then also let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, here's the the leaderboard you can see on Pocket where you can see where everyone is ranked. And then also at the end of the season, you get a badge that says what your rank was, like if you got to the Master Ball rank, which is super sick. Like if you're in the top 1,000 players, you get a little emblem that you can put on your account that says top 1,000 on it. That is so dope.
Oh, I didn't even see this part of the rank stuff, to be honest. Yeah, that is really, really cool. For sure. It would be really cool. Yeah. It'd be really, really cool to have that in a PTCG Live. And I didn't even think about like the emblem stuff. They literally have that in every other video game. You play
Yeah.
League of Legends, you play Hearthstone, you play well, maybe not Hearthstone, but League of Legends, Marvel Rivals. You get like end of season or like even current season. I'm trying to think. You always at the end of the season you get some kind of emblem or something. Like in League of Legends, I think your board or whatever is whatever rank you were last season. Marvel Rivals, I think right now, if you end at X, whatever it's called, you get a little emblem at the end of the season. And they're even doing it in Pocket, which just makes sense. This isn't even something I thought about. I just want to know. I just want a leaderboard.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about this kind of stuff, but this stuff would be super sick to have as well in there. Um, it'd be nice to know who's rank one, how far you are from rank one, what rank you are, and then I don't know for we probably don't need top 1,000 for PTCG Live because that might be the whole of Arceus rank, but maybe like top
Yeah.
100
That's
or
literally
like
every.
maybe an Arceus emblem and then a top 100. Arceus emblem or something like that would be cool. So yeah, hopefully that makes its way to PTCG Live after we get the leaderboard, but we're still waiting on the leaderboard, so that's where we're kind of stuck.
Maybe someday, maybe we can hope. But
Maybe.
yeah, I've been playing a little bit there. Other than that, though, really not too much going on. Where if, for any of the parents out there, we're in the midst of potty training right now for our 2.5-year-old, and it is not going super well. It is not super fun. It is probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do as a parent, to be honest, so far. Which I don't know. I don't know if that's like a normal parental experience, but we're working through the weeds. We'll get it figured out. Maybe whenever Azul comes Azul's coming next week to record some content. Maybe I'll get you to take a shift or something like that. Maybe you'll have the magic solution to get Samuel to get it all straightened out.
Who knows? Maybe I did have 4 siblings. I don't remember ever helping potty train any of my younger siblings, but maybe it happened. Maybe I have some the secrets. Who knows?
We'll figure it out.
Actually, that was one more thing I was going to mention with my kind of I don't know our weekly updates or whatever. Yeah, I'm going to be going to your place next week, which filming some more content for the Uncommon Energy channel. Go check it out. Our secondary channel got a new video
Coming out
coming
today,
out
the day that you're listening to
today.
this podcast. Yep.
Yeah, got a new video coming out today, and we've been uploading. We're on like a every 10 days schedule
Mhm.
right now, I think. So, trying to get out the content as consistently as possible over there. And then uh, the reason I was going to be going to your place because I was going to be making a stop at your place before going to Atlanta regionals, but I'm probably not going to be going to Atlanta anymore. I'm really enjoying playing Pokemon right now, but there's not like one deck I'm like super locked in on or anything, and I'm not really feeling like playing in a tournament. I more feel just like I just want to like play a lot of Pokemon. I'm really enjoying playing Pokemon right now. I just want to play all the different decks. I'm not trying to like, and if I'm not going to go through my process of prepping for the tournament, I don't really want to go. Like I just want to play a lot of Pokemon. I'm really enjoying the new standard format, but I don't just want to like grind Dragapult for a week, or I haven't found a deck that I want to like commit to grinding for like 4 or 5 days. And if I'm not going to do that, I really don't want to go to the tournament. So I'm pretty much committed at this point to not going to Atlanta anymore. So instead of going from your house to Atlanta, I'm gonna be going your house back home to then restream Atlanta, which honestly I am more excited for. I'm more excited for the idea of doing that than playing in the tournament. So I think that basically tells me I probably should make the cancellation on my trip. And that really is like what my goal was this season was to be comfortable with doing that. Like if I don't feel like going to a tournament for whatever reason, just don't go to it and then only go to the tournaments where I'm like, "Oh, I want to go to this tournament." That's how I felt for Vancouver. That's how I felt for Stockholm. Unfortunately, couldn't go because I couldn't fly because of my tooth. Um, and if there had been registration spots open for Brisbane, which we'll talk about Brisbane a little bit more here, I might have flown over to Brisbane because I was feeling very confident in the deck that ended up winning the tournament. So, um, obviously, there's no registration spots open for Brisbane at that point. So, but yeah, don't expect me in Atlanta in a couple weekends from now. But be sure to tune into my restream of Atlanta instead.
No, you could
What I
watch
meant to
the
mention.
the actual broadcast as well. I mean, that's an option too,
I mean,
right?
you kind of get the double down, like you get the what is it called, double dip if you come to my stream because you see both.
Well, if
You
you
just
watch
can't
the
hear
regular
both.
stream, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to hear you nagging the whole time. Like
Bro, I got the hype comms. All right, we're popping off with some top decks. We can swear, the true
we
emotions
can
flow.
swear.
The true emotions flow over on my stream. I know you guys have to be a little bit more reserved, which I understand. Um,
We can swear is crazy.
But yeah, Chip will be over there in Atlanta, so feel free to tune in to
Mm,
that
allegedly, will I be?
allegedly.
I don't know. Yes, I will be. There we go. I had to make sure I wasn't leaking something I shouldn't be, but it is officially on the Pokemon website that I will
There we
be
go.
at Atlanta Regionals with a wonderful crew. Very much looking forward to it. Oh, speaking of which, shout outs to our boy Skarzig here. You can see the new thumbnail that he made. Dude, this thumbnail,
Chip's obsessed.
dude, this
It
thumbnail,
is
it's
nice. It is
so
nice.
good. Look what I did. Boom. Background on the computer. Let's get it.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
good. Well done, Skarzig.
Yeah. Shout out to Skarsgård in general. If anyone needs if anyone makes content and needs thumbnails for their YouTube videos, Skarsgård does that. So yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hop into our first big topic this week, and that is going to be the results of the Brisbane Regional Championships taking place down under. And it was won by an American player, so not won by an Australian player, not won by a Japanese player, which you seemed to be pretty hype on, thinking that that was going to be the case. But it was Gabriel Smart getting his first ever regional championship win with a deck that I know you were super hype on,
Yeah.
Maridon.
Yeah, I actually think Miraidon I've thought about it a little bit more because I've been confident in this deck for a while. I think actually at EUIC Miraidon was not a very good play, but I think post EUIC Prime Catcher Miraidon was by far. Now this is comes with my experience in the format, like everything I know about the format. I think Prime Catcher Miraidon was by far the best play post EUIC. Um, at least until it maybe won. Like if it had won the tournament right after EUIC, it's possible the meta shifts and it's not as good. But because
Sure.
Miraidon kept not winning, I think Prime Catcher Miraidon was just the best play until it won. But now that's won Brisbane, we'll never know if the next tournament would just be just as good. So yeah, I was pretty hyped to see it get the dub. Congrats to Gabe, of course, getting his first win. He's been chasing it for a while, and it's always the thing that pops into my head whenever a player who hasn't won for a while, but they get their top eights, they're respected as a good player, wins.
Yeah.
Radner last weekend, Smart this weekend. It always makes me think, Grant, when are you going to get your top? Because Grant's been doing it longer than most, has more top
Yeah.
eights than pretty much anyone who hasn't won at this point.
It's him and
Um,
Rahul. I think Rahul might actually be ahead
oh
of him
yeah,
because Rahul got another top four this weekend as well in Brisbane.
and honestly, like Grant always comes to mind, of course, because he's my friend, testing partner. Yeah, I mean Rahul's up there as well alongside Grant for sure. We always rag on Grant a little bit for the lack of a dub, especially with me and Caleb both winning one this season. It was
Yeah.
it has to be coming at some point. Um, you'd think. But now it kind of does feel like it just kind of like I can't even like name another player off the top of my head, but like him and Rahul are definitely the top two that come to mind. Also, another one actually that comes to mind is James. Oh no, James did win a major last season or the season before, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
So, what a quick way to check this is just like you go to the Limitless rankings and we got to select masters and then um you rank by top 8 finishes.
get rid of seniors. Go to
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And we can see, I mean, yeah, Rahul right here. Some of these like count like some of the smaller like special events, right? Which I think a lot of people don't necessarily throw into the mix, right?
Yeah. But just
But
in terms of not having gotten the dub yet, it's yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Rahul does have, yeah, 5 more. Well, I don't know how many of those are special events. That's
He's got
true.
quite a few smaller special events on here, but I think he's probably slightly ahead of Grant. I don't think Grant has any special events on his, and he has 17 top cuts with no dub.
Yeah. And then
Well,
past
one of these
that,
might be like Origins or something like that.
yeah. But then past that, who else? Everyone here has won. Galas has definitely won something, right? Because Galas would be a name to
Yes.
throw up there.
Yeah, Galas is one for
Has he
sure.
though? Are you sure? The
Yeah.
more that he's recently had some top eights.
Oops, I just clicked on Nico.
Nico has won a regional
Yeah,
before.
that's a special event.
I
More the more modern day special events, I think we
don't
can
know if I.
throw into the mix, but like 2020 Santiago,
Nah, that ain't making the cut.
190.
Ooh, nah, I ain't making the
Nah.
cut.
Okay, okay. I mean, some of these like older special events, like like 2018 season, like I mean, this one's pretty. I guess in Chile,
That's not. Yeah.
yeah, they didn't have any
Those
tiny
numbers are
tiny
actually decent.
ones.
Those numbers aren't terrible, to be honest.
But, like, I know, like, if we click I'm not trying to put anyone on blast here, Rahul. But some of these special events, I know for sure were not very big, like
I mean,
Costa
these are the kind of
Rica,
I love.
30 players.
Yeah, these are the kind of things I really love talking about, though. Like, I love
Yeah.
stats and numbers in general, and I mean, we don't have that many. Like, we don't like have the stats of like. There are some stats out there that are cool to look at. Like, especially like that now that we have that site. I forget what the site is called, but it has the uh
Oh, the ELO
elo.
ranking?
Yeah, the elo rankings. Like, that's a cool site to look at. But then this is a really cool thing I like talking about. Is like these kind of stats, like
Yeah.
um yeah, who's the best player who hasn't, this is one of the things that comes about who's the best player who hasn't won a major yet, and we got
Yeah.
Rahul Grant. Galaz does
Galaz.
have those special event wins, but I think I put Galaz out there still. Those are, pre-COVID Latin American special events. I don't know if
And
how I really rate those.
Sanders gotta be up there too, right?
Yeah, the thing with Sander though is he plays decks that it's really hard to win with. It's not it's like it's him making top cut is not a surprise, but the fact that he hasn't won yet isn't a surprise. Because
Yeah.
the decks that he plays into he only plays control, and control has a disadvantage in top cut the majority of the time.
But yeah, I mean, you look at this list as we're scrolling down, like almost every single one of these people has won at least one major,
Major
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a short, like it's hard to be on this page and have not gotten a dub somewhere in the
Yeah, that
mix.
yeah, what the heck are you guys doing? Come on, Rahul, Grant, step it up. What is this? What is going on? Like, how
It'll
are
be
you on
on.
this page and you don't have a dub? Come on, bro.
Sheesh.
But, yeah. One of the well, actually, the pool of players is getting smaller just this year already, right?
Yeah.
Um, especially these last 2 weekends. Bradner and Smart now getting their dubs. Like you said, yeah, Maridon won, which I'm really happy to see Maridon get its success in this format post my win at Merida. And like I said, I think Prime Catcher Maridon, I think it was by far the best play post UIC. Had it won sooner in the format, who knows if it'd be have been that good towards the end of this format. And this is basically the exact same 60 that I ran at Vancouver, just minus canceling Cologne plus uh research, I think. Yeah, literally besides that. Um,
Yeah, I think the research is actually kinda decent in Miraidon. I know,
yeah,
Maddox has been playing a list for a while that has, like, 2 research in it, because it's
yeah,
like, Arvin is so insanely good, like, the early turns, like, that's a supporter you wanna play to start every single game is Arvin, right? But then
yeah,
after that, Arvin loses, like, quite a bit of value as the game goes on, and sometimes you just wanna, like, dump the hand and get a reset, and research does that for you, right?
yeah. At the list I played in, yeah, at UIC, we had two research in that list, and they were pretty good to be honest. Especially up against like stuff like Dragapult and Gardevoir that tries to hand lock you, or try to like it'd be very disruptive to your hand in the middle and late
Yeah.
game with Iono. So it's like drawing into that is like really really powerful. But um, well, yeah. So whenever you can find room for researches on top of playing like the Quad Arvin, it always feels pretty good, for sure.
Yeah, Arvin is a lot worse to draw into whenever you get Iono to 2, and one of the 2 cards you draw is Arvin. It's a little
Yeah.
bit weaker for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it feels better in the Prime Catcher build though, because then you just go Arvin for Prime Catcher. Whereas with the Secret Box build, you're like, I lose, or Counter
Sure.
Catcher as well, because sometimes you already burned your Prime. So yeah, it increases the value of your Arvins as the game progresses.
So Gabe with the win with Miraidon, and then in second place we got Tim Franklin with a deck that I've seen popping up quite a bit in the last couple of weeks over on
Yeah,
Twitter. I know Grant was super hype on this deck. I think he played it to a cup as well in the last couple weekends. And I forget who it was on Twitter that like kind of popularized this initially, but I've seen this popping up, and it's this Power Glass Roaring Moon Radiant Greninja deck.
yeah. And to explain the combo here to people who don't know, and it actually like does make me wonder if we had seen this format play out a little bit more. Like, is there that much more depth to this format? How much more popular could this deck could have gotten? Would this prompt Dragapults and Guardians to put Manaphy in their deck? So for anyone who doesn't know, the way this deck works is you go first, you get Greninja into your active with an energy and a power glass, and then you just like draw cards with Rotom or just like pass. And then the power glass accelerates an energy to your Greninja, which means next turn you can attach to Greninja and then use the Moonlight Shuriken to KO like double Drakloak or two Dreepies or two
Yep.
Ralts or two Curlias.
Yep.
Specifically against Gardevoir, you can trap them out of Gardevoir because you can if they go TM Evil for double Curlia, you just KO double Curlia, and then at the end of that turn, Power Glass re-accelerates an energy. So next turn you just go attach double snipe again, and if they choose first, they don't really want to go first because it's so much harder to get like a bunch of Pokemon into play to be able to set up and play the game. So if they go first and they get like one Ralts and a Monkey Dorian pass, you can go, okay, cool, turn one attack with Baby Moon and just kind of start the prize trade aggressively. So
Yeah.
it's a really cool way to utilize Greninja in the matchups that Roaring Moon kind of struggles against, which is Dragapult and I just mentioned it, but I forget what it was, Dragapult and Gardevoir. But your other matchups, you can kind of play more straight up with your Moon EXs and just be fine. So it's a really cool innovation on the Roaring Moon deck for sure.
Yeah, I think it's Andres Lostano. Sorry if I'm saying the last name wrong. Who
That sounds correct.
initially kind of came up with this. So shout outs to you because this deck I think has I've seen it pop up quite a bit now, and it would have definitely been interesting to see like because it's like a deck can pop up a little bit on Twitter, but this is what it takes usually for it to kind of become popular in a given
Yeah.
format, right? Someone has to do actually well with it at a major tournament.
I think we would
Um,
have seen them like if we had like another tournament 2 weekends after this one, Manaphy's would
mhm.
probably be back in Gardevoir, back in Dragapult maybe. And I think the next deck we should jump to is the Ledge deck here in Cut because it also had Power Glass in it. So it's not the Moon. Oh no, it wasn't this one. What? Oh, no, it did have the power
There's
glass in
Power
there,
Glass.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I, like, looked at it, I was like, "Wait, where are the power glasses?" But they were right there. So literally, Sarah Ledge, we've seen a lot of Sarah Ledge with Palkia, so you can get access to your Moonlight Shuriken, but it's a lot bigger of an investment. And it also takes your V-Star power, and we see there's a different V-Star in here, the Zamazenta V-Star, which we've never seen before, I feel like, up to this point. This has been played in Sarah Ledge. This isn't the first time I've seen people talk about it, or play it in the deck. In fact, my first build of Sarah Ledge, I think, going into this format had the Zamazenta. So it's the thing we've seen before. We've seen it in Japan.
Yeah, the
It's more
Zamazenta V
so.
is kinda cool because
Yeah.
it's got a good ability. Like, we actually who was it? Luke Smith, I think, won a regionals with this card in his deck, right?
Yeah, in
Uh,
the Arceus Beedrill.
yeah. Yeah, this deck right here, Zamazenta V. Discard your hand, draw 5 cards. So it's like a second Squawkabilly, to be honest, like
Yeah.
at the end of your turn. Really solid in these like a turbo deck like this one, right? Where you're just trying to discard a bunch of resources. And the V Star power, it's arguably one of the stronger. I mean, so many of the you can make arguments for really most of the V Star powers about like how insanely strong they are. But what this one does is during your next turn, all of your Pokemon take 100 less damage from attacks. And in formats where, once you start trading 2 prize cards and um, every single turn, if you're giving up 2 prize KO every single turn, right? Taking 100 less damage, buying you 1 turn, that gets you back ahead.
I feel like this, like, almost sets this like, if you get the Zamazenta online, I feel like you're auto-winning stuff like Miraidon and stuff like that, which is otherwise a pretty close matchup. Um, and then, like, the Dragapult matchup as well, taking away their, like, 4 prize, 6 prize turn on the next turn and then winning the turn after yourself. Yeah, so, like, that's what it tries to do, and that's why you don't play that's what allows you if you're playing that, you can't play the Palkia and get access to the Greninja, but you have the Power Glasses in this deck, which I think is definitely less consistent. You look at the Roaring Moon build, it's got 2 Forest Seal Stone, you got this has Dark Carmine as well, we have Carmine on top of that, you have Latias and Pecharunt.
We got
I guess
4 Steel
Pecharunt's
Stone,
not
buddy.
great. Oh, there is a Forest Seal Stone here. Dude, I am just tripping. There is a Forest Seal Stone here. You have the Latias. The biggest thing with this one is, like, you have less ways to get your Greninja in the active, I feel like.
Yeah.
But
You got 4 Jet Energy,
you have
buddy.
you have the Jets. Yeah, you have the Jets. You could open the Badoo. You could open the Greninja. So it's still possible. And they still trying to abuse that same thing of your tough matchups. Dragapult's probably not terrible, but your Guardy matchup is really tough, and it's a pretty big deck in the format right now, or it was a big deck in that format, and they're just not playing Manaphy. So it's like these decks are just trying to be like, what is the best way I can play the most convenient way to play Greninja, to kind of put a hurting on the Gardevoir deck. We saw that from the Sarah Ledge as well as the Roaring Moon.
So it's really cool to see these kind of innovations as we come to an end of the format. And it does make you a little disappointed. Like, this is what I feel like this is the type of format that I really enjoy in Pokemon, where it's like things feel like they're constantly changing and new decks are popping up as you move forward through formats. And I don't feel like we experienced that a lot at the end of this rotation, right? Like when the Regidrago dominated formats were happening. It felt like it was kind of difficult for something to emerge as a new contender.
Yeah, I feel like we saw all the innovations, like, happen throughout the format, but it was really just decks that were like it's like, "Oh, here's the cool new way to play Charizard, and it still loses to Regidrago. Here's the
Right.
cool new way to play Dragapult, and it still loses to Regidrago." Like, everything was tried, and just none of it was good, but it felt like if you weren't playing Regidrago, everyone was going all out to try and find any answer they could for any deck that they were playing that wasn't Regidrago. Um, so it was less kind of building on the meta. It was more like desperation than like, okay, I here's like this cool new gap in the meta I found to exploit because there's like nothing to exploit against Regidrago basically. Um, but we see this here, the lack of Manaphy. What are the cool new ways to utilize Greninja? They found something to exploit, right?
Yep. So we see Rahul here ran it back with a top 4 finish here in Brisbane, same 60 that he played alongside the rest of the crew that Isaiah did use to get first place in Stockholm. So not really surprised to see just a week later choosing to run the same 60. And Alexander here with a top 8 finish with a really unique build here, having the Coffagrigus EX, which is kind of just like a, a little mini Dragapult, right?
Yeah, that does. It's got the gold coffin ability when it gets knocked out. Search your deck for any one card, and then for 2 second energy, Hollow Hands 110. Put 5 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like. I have no idea what this is that good against. Actually, can you check if Alexander went to EUIC? Just like click on his name because I played against someone playing this at EUIC. The Coffagrigus in uh
If he did, he did not make day 2. We
okay.
can I can
So
look
it
at your
might
Poké data.
I'm curious if it was Alexander because I played against a Cofagrigus Gardevoir at UIC, and I was like,
I'll look it up.
I was surprised to see it for sure.
I think Rahul played against this guy and beat him in top
Yeah, I have no idea what
8, I want
the
to say.
I'm trying to, like, theorize what it's that good against, but I can't really it can set up for probably big there's not even, like, a TM Devo in this list. Like, I think you'd I'm surprised there's no TM Devo because I thought you would, like, play that for that's, like, one of the reasons for its ability. Um, yeah, honestly, I have no clue what it's that good against. I'm sure you can set up, like, big turns, like, a turn of, like, set up your Cofagrigus, use double Monkey Dory, attack with a Cofagrigus. That's a lot of damage in play that's not taking knockouts that you can then utilize for multi-prize turns on your next turn, maybe, I guess, but
You
I'm
did
drawing a
not play
blank.
against Alexander at
Okay.
UIC.
So someone else playing the Cofagrigus in
Was
Gardevoir
it, do you
then.
remember, was it one of your first 2 rounds or was it a little
I
later?
think it was the first Gardevoir I played against.
You played against a Gardevoir in round 1, Raba from France, and then
Uh,
you played against Victor from Australia in round 2, who was playing
oh,
Gardevoir.
it might have been Victor. Well, yeah, maybe Victor and Alexander have
Maybe so.
been cooking the Gardevoir with the
I just went back and
Cor
looked at this UIC run, and it is disappointing, man.
yeah, it got pretty bad once I got to yeah, it started off really good. It started off really good. Like I said, Maridon was not that good of a play for UIC. Probably should
Yeah.
have tried to get away from it, but
Well, what other decks should we talk about here in this top 8? We did see a Japanese player make it into top cuts, Reiji
Yep,
Nishiguchi, one of the better Japanese players, of course. Playing kind of just a straightforward, what we expect
yeah.
to see Dragapult deck. There's a Lost City in here, which we've seen pop up a little bit, but it's not super like mainstay, I would say. That's kind of the big standout card to me.
I wonder what
But
the big maybe Lost Owning Monkey Dories or something like that is one of the that could be
that's
pretty cool.
that's got to be pretty good, right? Because it does Lost Zone stuff when you knock it out with Dusknoir, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that's
wondering,
kind of
like, what
cool.
yeah, I'm wondering what else it's, like, super strong against. Like, there's not, like, a single attacker against maybe just getting rid of Ralts and Curlius as well. It seems like Lost City is
Dude,
usually targeted towards Gardevoir.
you can get rid of 2 Monkey Dory against Gardevoir in
Yeah,
1 turn, which is
they're
pretty
just
good.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if that's the main reason is so they can't build up that 2-3 Monkey Dory board state. But yeah, pretty standard Crystal Dragapult in general. I feel like nothing crazy there. I think it's worth mentioning that, oh, we can get into the Gouging Fire first. Which, we did see kind of make a comeback, and this one's actually a little bit weird. It's got the Roaring Moon in here as well. Obviously, Gouging Fire popped up initially in this format, getting second to me at Merida. And then we hadn't seen it hadn't really made an appearance again. Actually, one went pretty deep at UIC. One was on stream at UIC, like, in the later rounds, but it didn't make maybe it was even on the winning end or round before the winning end, but, we haven't seen it really pop up since then. Here it is again. Got the moon in here as well.
Oh, yeah, what were you gonna say before I clicked on this?
I think it's worth mentioning that Ryuki down there, 12th place, did not make top cut. Top cut did extend down to 11 players, I believe. But yeah, Ryuki here making top cut, or no,
Not
making it to the
making
win and not making top cut, making it to the win and like, I mean, dude, it's just. I was like, once I saw like he was going into day two at like 7-1 or something, maybe 7-01. I was like, dude, is Ryuki? I was like, I think Ryuki's just gonna win a third major this season, which is just absurd. He did get to his win and he did lose, running it back with the cloth to Rapagos. Once again, not playing some of those cards that like I think we had been pointing out. No Iron Bundle, no Ursa Luna. Although our specifically, I feel like for where the format was at, where the meta was at, our Chaladon was not very popular. So like the Ursa Luna is definitely less necessary. We see the canceling Cologne in there, tech card for the Clef Keys,
mm.
which had become more prevalent for sure with the slow pulse and the guard wars and stuff like that. So yeah, I just wanted to mention like super impressive from him still. He didn't make top cut here, but got to the win it in at another major.
Yeah, super sick run for sure. Yeah, when's the last time we saw someone win 3 majors in a season? It's been a minute. It was probably either Caleb or, Jimmy, right?
Uh
In, like, 2019, 2020?
Igor won 3 regionals in a season. I don't know if it was the season before that or the season after that. I don't
Mm,
remember.
okay.
It was the season with expanded Drampagarb, so it makes me think it was
It would've been,
no, it
like,
was the season
2018
before. It was
maybe?
the season before. It was the season before. Yeah, so it had to have been Caleb then.
Yeah.
Caleb and Jimmy season, they both won 3, right?
Yeah, both
Oh, no,
of them with
Jimmy won 4 and Caleb won 3 and got a second, I think.
yeah, Jimmy won 3 in a row and then a 4th later. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jimmy, yeah, for those who don't know, is probably the literal most insane tournament run of all time and may never
Yeah.
be topped. Was Jimmy Pendarvis. I'll just find the 2019 season here. He started off the season ninth place bubble. I'm pretty sure it was a bubble
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Philadelphia Regionals, so bubbled out of cut. First place Orlando, 33rd place LAIC, first place Virginia, first place Anaheim, 12th place Collinsville, first place Toronto.
Yeah. And that same season, Caleb won 3 and got second at another one because he didn't attach his Fighting Fury belt to his Seismitoad. Oh my gosh, bro.
Oops.
Yeah, oops. But yeah, that was definitely a pretty insane season there for
Yeah.
sure.
I remember that discussion came up like at the start of this year. Whenever Rahul and Kieran were both like on their insane tears to start the season, right?
Yeah.
There was like a discussion on Twitter about like the best runs in the history of the game. I think it's going to be tough for anything to ever top that run from Jimmy, to be honest, over
Yeah,
the course of
that's
like
like
2 months or whatever it was.
I don't think it's ever even been close. Recently, there's not been nothing. No, I feel like there's nothing been close because no one's got back-to-back wins. You have to start there, right? Someone has to get
A
back-to-back wins.
Hedrick.
Oh, true. Yeah, true, true, true. But I guess like though you could even make Jimmy's like back-to-back ones are more impressive because Hedrick's like skipped a tournament or two in there, I think, as
No, no,
well.
it wasn't. It was, I think the Hedrick one, it was like he won, then it was OCIC, which he didn't go
Okay, he
to,
didn't
and
go to
then he won
OCIC.
the
Yeah,
next one.
yeah. So still, yeah, it's like still pretty much on par.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Brisbane. Those were the decks. Let's do a recap of our predictions. The
Well, we
first
could. There
one,
was two more players, and well, I guess it does nothing. Well, I think Henry and the ride on list there from you was basically just the exact same. That was like the same thing as Gabe, but it was like minus heavy ball plus lightning. And then I don't think Henry have anything crazy in his guard war because that's the last top cut player to look at. It's pretty. I think this might even be it's close to the exact same 60 that Bradner 60. Not
yeah, there's
quite, but
something
close.
different here.
No secret box, unfair stamp is the big thing, I guess.
I think there's a difference in the Pokemon lineup too. Yeah, there's no Bidoof and no Cresselia.
No do. Yeah, interesting. The do seemed really, really powerful. Oh, three team Evo. The do seemed really, really powerful up against Dragapult specifically to stop the turn two
Yeah.
Candy Dragapult. But yeah, it was a 10-player top cut. Christopher did not make top cut. Like I
Yeah.
mentioned, Ryuki was on the winning end. Yeah, yeah. Let's recap those predictions.
Yeah. So first one was how many Japanese players would there be in cut? You predicted 3. I predicted 2, and we were both wrong. It was just one, just Reggie holding it down for Japan. But it was a
Yeah,
couple of Americans infiltrating.
yeah.
Rahul and Gabe both making it into top cut.
Also, with this win from Gabe, we're gonna have a pretty funny prediction for their final regional coming up, which will probably one of our predictions is definitely gonna be will an Australian actually win one of their regionals this season
Sheesh.
because Kato won the first one, right? Or who won the first? Was it Kato? I
Kato won one last year, I think. And oh wait, no, it wasn't last year, was it?
think it was the season, right? Because we talked about how Kato didn't have his invite last year, but now he has it
Yeah.
this season. Um, I want to say it's Kato for sure. The most successful Japanese player last season.
Yeah.
Perth, right? Yeah, one Perth. Yeah, the Australians, honestly, it's just kind of like if you're not from Australia, you're looking to win a major, get over there, man. What are we doing? Let's get everyone in, bro. It's free dubs over there, apparently. Well, yeah, we'll see if they can hold
Ooh.
it down for the last one, which I assume will be the biggest one. It'll be Melbourne, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's
Biggest one of this season. The odds will be better for the Australians, more Australians to non-Australians, I assume. So odds will be better. Although maybe the hype's kind of built up around
I think
how
it's the
easy it
same
is.
weekend as another tournament as well.
Ooh, it might actually might be a 3 major
I
weekend.
think that's actually what it is.
But the thing is, the Japanese players are only ever going to Australia in that situation, and then as long as
Yeah.
there's not an American regional that weekend, then Americans will still probably make their way over to Melbourne.
So there's a special event in Chile that weekend. There's a special event in the Netherlands that weekend. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, we don't really see Latin American or European players go over to Australia, so it's still free pickings for the Japanese players and American players for sure.
You gonna make
I
your way
did
down to Melbourne, buddy?
no registrations already happened. I did not register. Um, wait,
Missed
what was
out.
it? Yeah, yeah. So maybe next year I think I want to go over there though to get my invite that way next year instead of
Going to Mexico.
yeah instead of going to Mexico I'm gonna go to Australia to get my world's invite instead. I've decided so.
You've had a
Um,
good track record in Australia.
yeah. Also, just like regionals outside of America, because I won Stockholm last season.
True.
I won one in Mexico this season, and
Yeah,
now
everyone
I'm
always says
taking.
like, "Oh yeah, Azul's the goat with his 8 regionals wins," but they don't look at like, well, one of those was in 2010, you know. One of those was in Mexico, like, there was
Hey,
like
there was like 1,100
there was a
players
lot of people
going
there.
on
There
this
was a
one.
lot of people
Yeah,
there. No shade.
Stockholm
No
is.
shade.
You can throw a little shade at the Stockholm one. I'm not.
There
You
is
can definitely throw
honestly
shade when I win one of the ones in Australia next season. You can
I
throw
think
all
there
the
should
shade.
be some sort of like agreement though about where we kind of draw a line on some of that stuff. Like, I don't know how many pre-cash era regionals, like how heavy those should be weighted compared
Yeah,
to
for sure.
modern era. Like I feel like that would be a fine distinction. But then also like at the same time, like, you know, there were definitely some early on regionals like in Latin America and in Australia that had like 150 people at them, right?
But yeah, most of like the nationals in Europe had like 40 people, I think, back in the day. Like a lot of them,
Yeah.
not all of them. The UK was probably decently sized, but I think like some of the ones
But
that were won
I'm
back in the
even
day were like 40,
talking
50
about
players.
like 2017, 2018, like the early of like
Sure,
the
sure,
modern era,
sure.
the international era.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I don't count is Latin American SPEs until this season, basically. Except for maybe some of the bigger ones like the season before. But a lot of those are like really, really small. But yeah, I basically count everything as like a major dub moving this season on personally. And the only thing I didn't really count before was like some of the Latin American SPEs because they were like, the Puerto Rico special event we just looked at one that was 30
30
players.
people,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I'm not counting that as a um, major tournament dub back then. Uh, but yeah, basically anything moving on from this season on is I consider basically a major win for sure. But some of the things you can't like you can only play within like if you're only playing within your region. I mean, everyone was only playing with their region way back in the day. So if 50 people showed up, 50 people showed up.
Our next prediction was pick a player to make top cut. Azul picked Ryuki, which was a decent pick. He was on the winning end, did unfortunately lose, but a better pick was definitely Tim Franklin, and that's who I picked because he got second place. Shout outs to my boy Tim Danklin with the second place finish. And that is two
Back to
tournaments
back.
in a row where I picked a player just from the wide field to make cut, and 2 weekends in a row that player got second place. That's kind of crazy.
People are gonna be hoping for that chip blessing move from here on out. Be like, bless me, Chip, bless me with that second
Hey,
place.
listen, if you're trying to make top cut in Atlanta, I do
Yeah.
take bribes, Hit me up.
You will be
I'll pick
limited
you
to
on the
second. You will be limited to second, but
you know how many people would be totally fine with
yeah,
that?
I would take that. I'd be fine with that.
And then our final um
Mhm.
prediction was how many V Pokemon would there be in Top Cut? And this will be the last time we can make this prediction. Azul made the prediction for 24 V Pokemon. I said 22, and this, of course, counts Vs, V stars, V maxes. And it was 27 this time. 27 V Pokemon in Top Cut. We both undershot it quite a bit.
Yeah, a Lugia made its way into cut, and honestly, 2 Miraidons, each Miraidon deck plays 4 V Pokemon. There was also 3 Guardies in cut, but that wasn't enough,
Yeah, I mean,
for
this
one of us to
Sarrow
get it
Edge deck
right.
has the Zamazenta V
Yeah,
Star.
yeah.
That counts for two.
That's +4
Yeah.
total. The Miraidons are +4 each, and then, yeah, Lugia was in there for the plus actually, I think the Lugia was +9 because it had the weird ear as well.
Gouging Fire's got Delphox and Entei V. So, yeah, it was boosted up there quite a bit for this last tournament
I think our
in the
predictions
format.
our predictions this time around were way better, like 22 and 24. What did we pick last time? Like,
It was
in
not
the
even
teens?
close to right. Yeah.
Yeah. So way better this time around. And yeah, I think it would have been like 24 and 22 would have still been a decent guess overall. But yeah, definitely the Miraidons and the Lugia making their way into cut definitely hurt us on the prediction for
Yeah.
sure.
For Stockholm, you predicted 18. I said 17, and the actual was 30.
Yeah. But
All
yeah, that's
right.
it. That is it for V Pokemon. So goodbye to V Pokemon V Stars. I mean, official rotation hasn't happened, but it's happened on PTTG Live. Nobody cares about this format. No one's talking about this format, despite it
Well,
still being the current legal standard format.
we did just
Um,
talk about it for 30 minutes.
well, yeah, I just kind of mean, sure, sure. I guess people still have League Cups this weekend and next, but
It's true. It's true.
lucky your League Cups, play
Are
Miraidon.
people allowed to ask rotation questions in your chat now?
Yeah, because it's not about there's no, they're not still because that's literally a year away. We don't talk about next year's rotation. No, people aren't. Someone asked me about dude, something about the set that comes out in 2 months, and I was like answering the question. I was like, wait, that's 2 months away, and then I timed them out. I started answering the
Well, did you
question.
time yourself out for talking about it?
No, 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 I can't do that.
Why
Who
would
would be
you?
there to time everyone else out if I timed myself out? Can't have that.
I'm sure Gamer would be able to pick up the slack a little bit for you, or the lock, or someone. All right. Well, we got a couple new cards we can take a look at here on that have been revealed in the last couple of the last week or so. And this first one is going to be the promo card, I believe, that comes out with the Elite Trainer box for Destined Rivals. And it is a brand new Team Rockets Pokemon, and it's Team Rockets Wobbuffet. And I know, Azul, you were kind of hyped on this card. So let's take a look at it here. It's got 110 HP. It's a basic psychic type Pokemon. It is a Team Rockets Pokemon, weak to dark, resistant to fighting, with 2 retreat cost. And its first attack, Rocket Mirror, for a psychic and a colorless. Move all damage counters from one of your benched Team Rockets Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon.
Yeah, so that is pretty good to be honest. We've seen a lot of attacks like this, but they usually don't heal your benched Pokemon. I feel like most recently we had the single strike Wobbuffet, right?
Yeah, I
That
think
was
this might be
much.
the first time we've seen this exact effect on a basic.
Yeah, we've definitely had the effect before. Um, But yeah, on a basic that heals, I don't think we've ever had before. We've had it on like stage ones and stage twos,
Yeah.
where it moves the damage from your bench Pokemon to your opponent's active. And almost like the like another part that goes with this is like not just that it exists, but setting it up, of course, is going to be a question. But for a psychic and a colorless, that works with the Rocket's energy, right? So, and you got that Mewtwo EX with 280 HP. Put a Bravery Charm on that 330. It's not going down that easily. If it takes a big punch, you can just move all that damage back to their side.
Yeah, it's pretty good in theory. I think the problem is that in practice, your opponent just isn't going to hit the Mewtwo for 280 damage. They're going to hit it for like 70 and then knock it out.
Maybe, but I don't know. Like I get, but like that, like imagine you go up against Dragapult and they punch you for 70. Like,
Yeah,
aren't you just okay
or
with that
they
existing?
go boss your Spidops and then put a little bit of damage on your Mewtwo.
Sure, sure. So yeah, but making them work that much harder is like definitely worth it, right? So
Maybe. Or they
definitely,
could just go Dragapult plus Dusknoir all in the same turn and one hit KO your Mewtwo.
it's a really good card. We'll see how it actually gets implemented. I think we'll definitely see play, but like Chip said, there is ways to play around it, which is good game design, right? If it's like, I can't beat this card, I guess I just have to hope they don't draw the combo. That's bad game design. Good game design is, hey, there's a lot of things your opponent can do to play around this card.
I could definitely
It's
see
still
this
good.
being a massive eye roll card when your opponent like plays it against you. Like it's something you're not expecting, like you're playing against them, they're playing their Rockets deck. This card's not common or whatever. You hit the Mewtwo, and then all of a sudden they go bench, switch, attach the Rocket Energy, and then you're just like, oh my
You're
gosh.
like, this is terrible in here. Nobody plays this because you can just play around it and then doesn't play around it and then loses to it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that could be, it could be one of those cards where it's like everyone plays it at first. Um, and then no one plays it because everyone just plays around it all the time. But then that's when it becomes good. And it's one of those things, especially like in online tournaments, this card will be way worse. But like at an actual regional, this card becomes way better for sure. Especially if it is one of those cards that only like 50% of the people play. Because then your
But
opponent has to like guess whether or not you have it.
we do got one more new card here. We've got the Cetitan EX. It's a big boy, stage 1, 300 HP, water type Pokemon, weak to metal, 4 retreat cost, and its attack, Crush Press, for 3 water, 1 colorless, does 140 damage. And then you may discard a stadium in play. If you do, it does 140 more damage. But it has the ability Snow Cover. Whenever your opponent plays an item or supporter card from their hand, prevent all effects of that card done to this Pokemon.
We've seen this before. It's been a while though. Was it Primal Groudon EX? Was the last time we saw this ability? Oh, maybe not actually. Last time we saw it on a good Pokemon was Primal
This
Groudon EX.
this card is almost like an exact reprint of Primal Groudon.
Oh, I forgot that Primal Groudon had the stadium effect on its attack.
It's
I literally
literally
forgot about
like
that.
it's like the almost the same card.
Oh, yeah, they're literally just giving us Primal Groudon. I didn't even realize that. I thought it was
Yeah,
just like, oh, the ability's the same as the barrier
ancient
or the
trait.
ancient trait that Primal Groudon had, but no, it's literally the exact same card. Why didn't they save this for Megas? They should
It's
have
a good
saved this for.
well, because megas aren't gonna work the same way they did when this mega existed.
Oh, yeah, sure, 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 but I feel like that would have been a better throwback if we're just gonna do, like, a
It's
reprint
true.
throwback. I feel like saving it for the Megas makes more sense.
Well, I don't know if they're gonna have the primals or not, whenever we do
Oh,
megas this time around, because the primals were like a big part. Because like whatever's happening in the TCG is usually just like a uh
kind of a mirror of.
yeah, of like what's happening in the video game and stuff. And like
Yeah.
Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, Mega Rayquaza were all part of the like Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby games that were out at the time.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, yeah, it feels like it would have been better to put with a Mega Pokemon, but maybe they still will. Maybe this ability will also be on a Mega Pokemon. We'll see. But it doesn't seem as good as Primal Groudon. You don't have strong energy, and setting this thing up seems like a headache. Besides Excalibur, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Doesn't seem great.
the thing that made Primal Groudon good is there was good stuff to hide behind in the format where
Hold
you
on, we
could
got Badoo.
so we do have Badoo, right? But like Badoo wouldn't have worked with Primal Groudon because when you evolve Primal Groudon, your turn ends.
It's true, yeah.
Unless you had a Spirit Link, which nobody played, right? So Titan is not
People
like
played
that. So
one.
you can evolve and Badoo. And then you can also like I mean Primal Groudon, one of the most common things you hid behind was Wobbuffet. And we have Klefki in the format, which is like effectively Wobbuffet.
Yeah,
Not quite, because it doesn't shut down, like, evolution abilities, but, like, the basic abilities are what runs the game right now, right?
yeah, definitely. So yeah,
So
we'll
there
see. It's also, like, not that big, and you also need some kinda healing to go with it as well, which is, like, what Primal Groudon played a lot of, right? Was a lot of healing. Although, one of the combos that Primal Groudon did play, well, I guess we don't have that, was, like, Max Potion Scramble Switch. Um,
we do have
we don't have
Scramble Switch.
we don't have Max Potion.
We've got Turo.
Sure, Scramble Switch Turo sounds like a hard combo to get into your hand,
You
but,
got
yeah,
plenty
so
of time, bro. Draw passing with a Klefki active.
I remember people didn't think Groudon was gonna be that good. It wasn't, like, a huge hype card when the set dropped, but it did end up being pretty good. Um Because the ancient trait was so good. I don't think we'll see the same for Sea Titan, but who knows?
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
Groudon it's, like, a little bit before my time when Groudon came out, like, I was playing when Groudon was legal, but I didn't start playing like, I started playing Groudon had been legal for, like, a year or something like that, you know?
Yeah,
Um, but it was never I like, when I was playing, it was never really that good in standard, but it was always something that kind of was a threat in expanded.
yeah, yeah,
That's where it felt like it shined the most.
definitely. Yeah, in standard, it was definitely less, I wanna say it was definitely less impactful. Expander is definitely where it took over at some point eventually. Oh, the big thing for that was Tropical Beach is not legal in standard. Was that the big reason?
Yeah,
Might have been the big reason, right? Yeah.
it was not legal. All right, well, I think it's time here for us to move on to guess that flavor text. Of course, though, before we do, we gotta pay the bills and we gotta say thank you to our sponsor, Dragon Shield, for supporting us here at the Uncommon Energy Podcast. Dragon Shield, of course, makes some of the best card gaming and tabletop gaming products on the market. We love them for their sleeves, but they've also got great deck boxes, there's also tons of great accessories for other gaming things. Like I use the magic carpet for my cube for card storage. I use the cube shells for my cube as well. And I do have a pair of new colors out recently, the amber and amethyst matte sleeves. They were kind enough to send Azul and I each a box of these brand new colors. And very excited to get to use them. And they are now officially available. So if you want to pick some up for yourself, we're going to have a link down in the description, the nice orange amber color or the purple amethyst. Both really nice looking colors. Be sure to pick them up. And if you do want to support us as well, you can use code UEPOD to get yourself 5% off of your order purchase. So, what are your thoughts on which one are you going to go with if you rock one of these two, amber or amethyst?
Definitely with the amber. I'm a big fan of also like the tangerine ones as well. So I'm partial to the oranges. I guess like one of my other favorites is the magenta ones though, which I guess isn't quite a purple, but yeah, amber would be the one I'd be sleeving up for Atlanta if I was going. So it'll have to wait until Portland, but I'll be sleeving up with the ambers going into Portland for sure.
They'll still be
Yeah,
nice and fresh, I'm sure.
definitely.
Yeah, big thanks as always to Dragon Shield for supporting us. And once again, if you want to pick up some of these sleeves for yourself, click the link in our description. It'll help support us. And you can also use code UEPOD, that's UEPOD, to get yourself 5% off your order. And now it is time for Guess That Flavor Text, where each week Azul or I picks a card, reads the flavor text from it, and has the other host try to guess which Pokemon is featured on that card. We do keep score, and you are able to earn points. And we do have lifelines as well. So if you get it correct without using any of your lifelines, you get 4 points. And then for each lifeline you use, you lose one of those points. And the three lifelines are what set the card is from, what stage the card is, and read an attack name. Your boy got on the board a couple weeks ago with the Cetitan guess. Azul was not quite able to get Gudra with the horns,
Um,
unfortunately, last week. But it is my turn this week. Azul, you got a card picked out for me?
I do Chip, are you ready for this week's flavor text?
I am indeed. Current score update as well. I am leading 33-29.
All right. It picks food from cactus plants, deftly avoiding buds and spines. It seems to skip about to move.
What is that word? Deathly avoiding?
Deftly.
Deftly?
Deftly.
I don't even know what that word means.
I don't
Deftly.
either. I mean, it sounds like maybe
Like
like
limberly or something like that.
yeah,
All right, read the flavor text one more time. Avoiding cactus.
skillful.
Okay, okay.
It picks food from cactus plants, deftly avoiding buds and spines. It seems to skip about to move.
Okay. Um skips about. Is that what it says? It skips about?
Yeah.
It almost makes me think of like a rabbit or something like that, like a rabbit Pokemon, but the only rabbit Pokemon I can really think of are like what's his name? Raboot and Score Bunny, Cinderace. I don't really think it's like a starter Pokemon. Sounds like something that would be like a desert Pokemon potentially. Skipping about though. I mean, the cactus obviously links me to like a desert Pokemon. It could be just like some sort of little mouse or something like that. Like, I doubt it's not like a Rattata or something like that. What other desert Pokemon? Let me use the what set the card is from lifeline here.
Secret wonders.
Oh, okay. So that is the set that has Telepass Gardevoir in it. But that is about all I know from that set, just offhand. Um, of like the Pokemon that are in it. I think that set also has like there's like an Entei Suicune Raikou trio in that set, I'm pretty sure, for Secret Wonders. Um, okay. With Diamond and Pearl era Pokemon. So that does I mean that narrows down like half the Pokedex, so that's pretty helpful, I guess. Um could it be what's the cat's name? Uh Glameow? Glameow, I guess. Skipping around, avoiding the cactus. Glameow kind of sounds like a decent guess to me. That is a Diamond and Pearl Pokemon. I guess it could be like a bug Pokemon too, but probably not. Let me let me have you read. I don't know. You always pick like Pokemon that have like attacks that are completely useless. So I don't even know if I want to use that lifeline. Let's just go with let me have you read an attack name.
Future sight.
Future Sight. Okay. So a psychic Pokemon potentially. What stage is the card? I'll just go and use them all.
Basic.
This is a basic. Would a Glameow have Future Sight? I don't think so. What else would have Future Sight? Like Abra? Probably not. Abra basically only ever has teleport. Oh, wait, no. It could be Abra, but Abra's not skipping around. But there is an Alakazam, I think, in Secret Wonders. It's like the one that like They had to doesn't it have something there's, like, a weird way to put Alakazam in play because there was no Kadabra or something like that. Um, um, man, I low key think that there's an Abra in that set. Future Sight. Could it be Girafarig? Skipping around? I really don't think it's Glameow anymore. I was kind of really locked on that for a second. Let me hear the flavor text one more time and then I'm going to lock something in.
It picks food from cactus plants, deftly avoiding buds and spines. It seems to skip about to move.
Skipping about, picking buds and seeds from cactus plants. Man, skipping about. Mm, the future sight attack kind of messed this up here, or threw a wrench in my thought process at least. What other little basic psychic guy could there be besides Abra? I'm really drawing a blank on anything but Abra. I guess I'm just gonna have to lock it in. I don't know. I need to pick something. Let's Abra, Girafarig. Let's go with. I really don't think Abra is a very good guess, but I really can't think of anything else right now. Let's go with the Abra.
All right, Abra's locked in. It is not Abra. I wasn't actually sure which attack to give you. There's two attacks. So I'm going to give you the other attack and see if this helps at all. Bothering Wave.
I mean, it would just make me think it's more a psychic. Both of those make me think a psychic Pokemon, but uh, that's about it. I mean, is it like? It's not like Mr. Mime or something like that, is it?
Oh, I did think this one would be hard because it is a, I mean, it's a bird as far as I can tell,
A
but
bird?
it seems to skip about. Definitely would have thrown you off of a bird. It's not to.
Hmm. Not to do be having future sights.
Do be
Yeah,
seeing the future.
the skipping about, I basically would never have landed on a bird. But that does make sense. Yeah, that's a bummer. I don't know that I ever. Yeah, I was not really on this path at all for sure.
Out on the bird path.
Not on the bird path. Future sight is like an attack that. Oh wow, way less Pokemon have future sight than I thought they did. Wow, look at that. Not to what is that actually right? The first TCG Pokemon to have future sight was not to.
The original.
Was this
Seer
guy,
of the future.
this little guy.
You know what it is?
Wow. Yeah, okay. And he is I mean he's been having it. You know, he had it here in Cosmic Eclipse. He the big brother had it here in Roaring Skies.
You just been seeing the future like that, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
I knew that Ralts had it, but I knew Ralts was in Platinum. I knew it wasn't in Secret Wonders. Even though like the Gardevoir is in this set, but this is like a different I knew all of that.
Yeah, he foresaw this exact moment and is very disappointed in you for.
Hmm, unfortunate. All right. Well, no points for me this week, unfortunately, but I'm still maintaining my 4 point lead, so I'm not going to complain too much. Say okay. We'll be back to fight another day in a couple weeks.
We'll see. Hopefully, I can. I guess I can't catch you next week, right? I can just get close.
You could tie me next week. It's a 4 point spread.
Tie you? Okay, yeah, yeah. I could tie you next week. That's true. That's true. All right. I guess that's gonna be my goal then. Try and tie it up. See if I can get it done. It'll be tough.
All right. Well, we've got the Champions League coming up this weekend. Like Azul mentioned, it's going to be in kind of like a weird format that we're never going to have. I mean, I guess it's weird to us, but it's not weird to them. It's just their standard format, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They've got the cards from
Just as
Heat
usual.
Wave. They do not have the cards from the Team Rocket set. There will probably be more cards revealed during the Champions League for the Team Rocket set. Um, we still haven't seen any dark type Team Rocket Pokemon. So maybe we'll see that this weekend, what a dark type Team Rocket Pokemon could be. A
I feel like that.
coughing or wheezing or an Arbok, something like that.
Yeah, I feel like there's Gotta be something, right? Like, it only makes sense.
Yeah, I mean the rocket energy literally provides psychic or dark energy, and we've only
Yeah.
seen psychic, so we're gonna see a darkness type. Like
It's
it's
on
just
the way
going to
for sure.
happen.
Yeah, it'd be weird if there wasn't, for sure. So yeah, we got some stuff coming up for sure. But I think we should definitely jump in, do a little City League watch, right? Take a look at what is being successful over at the City Leagues, which is the like effectively a League Cup size tournament for anyone who doesn't know over in Japan. Although it is a lot more interesting because they're always ahead of us in the format. It's something of a what's the word I'm looking for? Mm, can't think of the word. People definitely put more value into City League results than they should, for sure, on average. But they basically are just League Cups at the end of the day.
What happened here?
Broken deck. They had it redacted because that's it. K1VA is going to win Champions League this weekend with their
Also,
broken
what
redacted
is this
deck.
person's name?
Um, I mean, it's got to just be like an import thing that's going on, I would imagine.
All right. Well, I mean, my first thing that I'm noticing, just scrolling through and looking at this real quick, there's a lot of Raging Bolt winning these things.
Yeah, one thing I will say with that though as well is that was kind of the exact same thing we saw when Journey Together first was released. When they first got Journey Together, Raging Ball was winning a lot. But that didn't remain to be true, I think, as things developed. And even right now, Raging Bolt doesn't seem that it seems fine as a deck, but it doesn't seem that popular.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's fine. Yeah, it doesn't seem that popular though right now. Even right now, it doesn't seem that popular. So we'll see if that maintains. My guess would be no. I don't think Raging Bolt's going to be like the. I wouldn't be surprised to see zero Raging Bolt in top cut because I think when things get a little bit more competitive, the it feels just like is it one of those decks still where like the better players are just not going to play it, which is always going to hurt
Yeah,
something's
but there also was that
potential.
one Champions League where Raging Bolt was like half of top cut.
Was that a thing?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, was it the one where it won?
Yeah.
That's true.
Let me find it.
It had its moment once. Will it have its moment again? I guess.
It's true. It's had its moment. It was like the one that was right before an AIC, I feel like.
Yeah, I think you're. Was Was that the first time Raging Ball was
Or was it
legal?
Japan Championships?
I think it was the championships
It
because I think
was
the
the Japan Championships.
'cause I think Lugia won. No, no, no. Oh, what Raging Ball did win a Champions League. Now that you mentioned it,
Let me see. So there
maybe it wasn't
was
most of the cut though.
oh, that was
Yeah,
expanded Champions League
Lugia did win
age.
the Lugia did win the Japan Championships.
No, this is the I mean, unless it was one after the Japan Championships, Champions League Tokyo. Yeah, this is the one that it won.
There we go. Okay, didn't dominate. There's a couple in there
Didn't
though.
quite dominate, yeah.
Did pretty good. Did a little bit better at the other one. There was foreign cut. This is
Yeah.
just when what's it called came legal. So this was like the Chinchino Lugia just became a thing.
Yeah.
Ogre Pawn just released for Raging Bolt, and it did okay. Lugia did really good, I guess. Lugia dominated.
Yeah, it's when Legacy Energy came out.
Mhm. Yeah.
Chinchino had been around. It was Legacy Energy that was new, I think.
I think we just got Chinchino, didn't we?
No, no, it was Legacy Energy. Chinchino had been around.
Really? So had we been playing
Yeah,
Lugia
people
Chinchino for a
were
while?
playing Master Ball, bro.
Oh, that is true, and that's we had Chinchino then as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Lugia just not feel as good back then? I don't even remember. But yeah, that was definitely a big upgrade for the deck was getting the Legacy Energy. That's right, yeah, people have been playing Lugia Chinchino for a while. You're right, you're right.
I know. But yeah, lots of Raging Bolt has been doing well. That was where let me go back to this one list. Is this is the Ditto a standard thing? I feel like I haven't seen that in like every single list, but that's one of my
Um
like favorite combos with the fan rotom is like being able to go get the Ditto to go get whatever you want on turn one.
Yeah, I don't know if I feel like Ditto should be in basically every fan Rotom deck. It feels like it hasn't been all the time, but like most fan Rotom Noctowl decks that I've seen recently have been playing. And it makes sense in Raging Bolt as well, specifically because there is these the Raging Bolt and the Ogre Pond specifically are such massive Pokemon to be able to get out of your deck more efficiently. So it feels like not playing Ditto in here would be like really bad, to be honest. It would just be bad to not play the Ditto in here. Now you don't always like if you go second, you might not want to leave a two prize interactive, but you don't have to get the Ditto, right? You can just not get the Ditto. But when you go
Yeah,
first or when you go second and you're not under that much of a threat, then getting the Raging Bolt or the Ogre Pawn interactive is a pretty big deal.
definitely.
Also becomes like a search out, honestly, for for the potentially the oh, yeah, well, also going second is not that bad either because it becomes a raging bolt that's interactive, and you can attack turn 1 then potentially, right?
So besides the raging bolts, it feels like second place, lots of Dragapults,
Yeah, or Chaladon as well, to be
and then
honest,
our
top of that.
Chaladon was gonna be number 3, I think. Just quick glances is kinda what it looks like as far as, like, what has been winning these events, and it's not, like, just the full meta. Actually, let's go pull up I saw Joe Bernard. I think
The
he did something
breakdown.
based on online tournaments.
I did see
He
that recently.
he tweets stuff about the city leagues and stuff too, though. Usually, yeah. Interesting to. All right, so he did
Is
this
he just,
tweet.
like, is he manually compiling these stats, or does he have
Yeah,
some way to,
I
like
don't know. He probably is though, because he's a legend, to be honest. But
shout
he
out Joe.
he compiled this week one online results in the Journey Together format. And then this was interesting to compare to early City League data when rotation hit in Japan. So this is City Leagues during
First week.
the the
Oh, first 3 days, it looks like.
yeah, during the rotation start, and it's Raging Bolt, Dragapult, Charizard, and then Walls is kind of the top 3. And for us, it's like, well, like, why is there so much in S tier? What is oh, it's all the different Dragapults. My bad. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Raging Ball's
Dragapult,
just not up there.
yeah, it's just where is it? It's a
There
B
too,
tier.
yeah. I mean, so the thing with that, though, is, like, I think that a lot of people don't understand this. I mean, I get asked this question all the time, is, like, what is the differences between the regions? And there isn't. The meta is, like, a continuous thing across the board. Now, we have talked about this recently. I think there is some truth to this that sometimes we're like missing a tournament in a region for them to catch up. It's like, oh, X deck just dominated here in America. It's definitely getting countered in 2 weeks at the next American regional. But it's like Europe has a tournament next weekend. It's still going to probably be really popular over there because they just haven't had their tournament in this like this part of the meta yet. But it doesn't mean more people aren't going to play counters for it. So there's some truth to that, but, like, this is, uh wait, what is the date for the Journey Together information? It was January, right? That's, like, 2
Yeah.
months
Yeah,
ago,
yeah, yeah.
right? So it's 2 months ago. More City League results have happened. The major in Journey Together happened in Japan.
Yep.
Content creators are putting out content, talking about the decks. The community in general is just talking about the format, building decks, trying stuff out. So it's no surprise that it's drastically different. It's kind of like that's the way it should be. We should be able to look at this and be like, oh, this makes sense because the meta has progressed, despite us not being able to play with the cards on PTCG Live, which is our main source of, I don't know, I guess like meta progression as far as like figuring out what's good, what's bad, what to go with. Until we get like our first major tournament, which will be Atlanta, which gives us kind of like more of a benchmark to work off of what the meta is. It makes sense that the meta has still progressed past what Japan was doing during their first week. And hopefully that's what we see consistently because that means that people are doing stuff outside of just playing with the cards on BDCG Live. There's still more progression of the meta happening well, once we finally get our hands on the cards. So,
Yeah.
but it seems like Dragapult stands alone as far as Joe's data goes.
Yeah. Early in our format here. Um I guess we didn't really talk about this. Actually, I meant to ask you this like kind of at the start when we talked about streaming and stuff like that. But what are kind of your early you said you've been having a lot of fun playing, but what are kind of your like early thoughts on like what is like good? What are the best decks right now for Journey Together format?
I think Terrabox and Dragapult are like in a tier of their own. One of them could be better than the other. I haven't really dug that deep into that. But besides that, there's just like a lot of decks are solid. I'm really intrigued by our Chaladon right now. I think tool cards do a lot for that deck in a ton of situations. I'm really intrigued what our Chaladon can look like besides the poison package build because I don't like that build. Um, every other build of our Chaladon is intriguing to me. Um, and then, Enzork surprised me. I thought the deck would feel a lot weaker than it actually does. The deck actually feels pretty strong. I don't think it is like tier 1. I think it'll be very hard for that deck to ever be a tier 1 deck, but still feels pretty good. And if you just wanna play it, for some reason you just wanna play Enzork, you better play it before Shaman comes out because then things get a whole lot worse for that deck.
Yeah.
Uh,
You
so
got a very short window that's closing pretty
yeah,
quick.
I think we will see a little bit of a Shaman cycle, like, "Oh, no one's playing snipe decks. Imma cut my Shaman." Oh, all of a sudden Zorak becomes like a really good play. I'm gonna put my Shaman back in kind of thing. But yeah, Dragapult and Terrorbox seem to be better than the rest. but not by a lot. Like, it feels like a lot of things can keep up. The Raging Bolts, like I said, and Zoroark. I'm trying to think of, like, other decks all the time. Guard 4 still seems like it's pretty good. I played some with Miraidon the other day, and Iron Hands is still pretty good. And I think Miraidon's better than Future Hands. I played a little bit of Future Hands as well. That deck felt miserable. I definitely did not put the maximum amount of effort into it. And there's probably still more. My list was probably not as good as it could have been. Still more to do, yada yada. But
You said it felt miserable or it didn't feel miserable?
Miraidon felt pretty good. Future Hands felt miserable.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, Miraidon still because Iron Hands is just still good. Like, I don't know, you just gust 3 times and the game's over. You got to get the heavy baton in there, like I have in this list. Magnetons becomes a bigger factor, so you got to play the 2/2 Magneton, stuff like that. But despite the lack of the V Pokemon, specifically Raichu, no big one-hit KO potential, which definitely doesn't feel great. Miraidon and Iron Hands still do some pretty good numbers into most, if not all, matchups. So you have pretty good game plans against most matchups right now. So yeah, I think there still might be something there for Miraidon. If not Miraidon, Iron Hands at the very least. Uh, like, it's Iron Hands is still really really good. The question is just like, what is the best way to play it?
Yeah. I mean, the options are kind of limited. It's Miraidon or Future Box. I mean, I guess. Oh, hold up. Bring it back. CPOW?
That's what I was gonna say. If you were gonna say it, I was gonna be like, don't forget Excalibur.
CPOW, baby.
Honestly,
We lost Irida.
everything lost something. Okay, so Seapow,
We lost Bieberell.
Revavroom,
Revavroom?
we Revin.
No, we're not.
Maybe
We need those energies to be in play, brother.
you could play Revavroom with Lavencia and 2 basic lightnings. So we have our hands access, and it gives you like looping for your Revavroom. Think about it. Think about it. Get back to me on that.
I guess we don't have Pokestop.
You can play Water Pawn. You have your Snipe Attacker. Yeah, no
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pokestop is
Well, there's
rough.
no Greninja.
No Greninja. No Greninja. No Pokestop. Definitely hurts the decks, like the cycling of the deck and like seeing new cards. But
Yeah.
um,
Let's get off the CPOW tangent for a little
okay.
bit
So a lot
here.
of the decks we already looked at don't have any new cards in them. The big new card from Heat Wave is definitely the Typhlosion, which has made its way into a ton of decks, even Dragapult.
Yeah.
It feels like I remember you said this when we memed about it the 2 weeks ago now. You were like, when Golden Go first got revealed, you're like, you compared it to Zoroark, which
Yeah.
is obviously absurd and still is absurd. But
Come on.
Golden Go has gotten a lot. Golden Go, just like Zoroark did in the past. Zoroark GX, for anyone who's wondering, not Zoroark EX. GX in the past had a ton of partners, right? Played with Gliscopod, Lycanroc, Control. There's other stuff as well. We're seeing that with Typhlosion. Typhlosion's being played by itself, or no, like Golden Go. Golden Go was like played by itself. There's Golden Go Dragapult. There's Golden Go Typhlosion. Golden Go to Dunsparce. Um, yeah,
There's Golden
Typhlosion
Go
is net.
nothing right here. It looks like.
If you click on some of these top 16s, you'll find some Golden Go Typhlosions for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Typhlosion has made its way into like a couple decks, and even by itself is a deck as well.
Oh, and here's some of this. The we joked about this too. Whenever we first read these cards, it was like you're not even gonna play the Typhlosion line in the Ho-Oh
Yeah.
Mag Cargo deck, and that's literally what people are doing.
Yeah, there's just no room for it at all, which makes a ton of sense. There's no room for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Looks like a couple of different Garchomp lists here, and this one is kind of interesting. So, and is a little different than the first time we looked at some of these results from Cynthia's Garchomp. Hang on, where right here, like this
Frostlass build.
Frostlass build has popped up. Frostlass, Monkey Dory, Garchomp.
Dude, that's such a more boring way to play the deck. Like, you don't even play the Rose, right? That just doesn't like. Yeah, I don't. It feels worse to me personally when I look at this. I'm like, bro, we're not even playing the owner's cards. Like, the Rose Raid can't
Well,
be played in anything else.
well, just because it's like maybe a little bit less cool doesn't mean it's worse.
No, for sure, for sure. It probably is the better way to play the deck. Um,
One of these
yeah.
guys had Roserade in it. Hold up. Yeah, this guy's got Toadscruel and Roserade.
Ooh, the Skrull. Let's go.
Now, what is this guy for right now?
Raging Bolts. It's number one.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you look at the Raging Bolt list, they're not playing that much recovery. But to get through multiple Garchomps, they probably need the recovery. Despite Garchomp is weak to grass, right? But it
Yeah.
only has 3 on it, it's got 330 HP, so it's still hard for a Ogerpon to take this thing down.
Yeah, I mean, you discard your energy when you attack as well, like,
Yeah, yeah, if you do the big attack for sure, yeah. So,
so they're gonna have a hard time KOing you. We got a Hops deck here that did well, got a dub.
yeah, that's like
Have
another deck.
did you play with Hops yet?
I have, yeah, I have played with Hops. Hops is another deck where it feels pretty good. I think Hops is waiting for the meta to be pretty narrow though, in one direction, because I feel like the wide meta for Hops is not great. It is very much it is not like a Dragapult or a Gardevoir where it can like tech for everything and has game plans for everything, or even like Enzoric feels like it can like beat anything. This deck has some bad matchups. Hopsation definitely has some bad matchups. So if the meta gets a little bit more narrow, like just like kind of Dragapult, like if Dragapult really starts to dominate, I think that would be like a deck that the Hopsation deck really wants to see kind of take over the meta, because then I think there'd be room for Hopsation in the to be a competitor in the format. But I think yeah, the deck is solid. I think it's pretty good, but I think the meta is too wide right now for it. So it's kind of waiting for stuff to stabilize maybe a little bit after Atlanta in the right direction. I think Hops could be a pretty good play.
And couple Charizard lists here, not that many. I don't think it's
Tougher
too
Zard out here.
surprising. Yeah, we've talked about Charizard a little bit of like it just seems tough for it right now. This is like a Pidgeot plus Noctowl build, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Messagoza Stadium. I don't know
What?
about that. I don't know about that one.
I mean, maybe you just need a counter stadium for something, and you may as well flip a coin for a Charizard or a Pidgeot. Like, sure,
Nah, I
I don't
get the
hate it. I don't hate it.
Artisan in there.
We see double team Evo, I think, in all these builds though. They're going straight to the full on Evo. I did a little bit of theorying this last week, or a couple days ago, last yesterday. I think Rabska seems really good right now. The top two decks, Terrabox, Dragapult. The way Terrabox gets their edge in the prize exchange is using Water Pawn. And I was like, what is the best partner for Rabska? Something self-sufficient and just kind of gets it done by itself. The answer could be Charizard. Charizard, Rabska, there might be something there.
If you want to see
I don't
Charizard
know.
Rabska in action as well,
I think Charizard's pretty bad in general, but Rabska could be the missing piece.
we got the new Uncommon Energy video. Check that one out. See a little Rabska Charizard now. You were just ahead of your
Yeah.
time with that one.
Maybe I was. Honestly, yeah, maybe I was. I'm not gonna
The
spoil anything. I
problem
was about to spoil something, but I'm not gonna spoil
the
anything.
problem though is like if you play against a Dragapult deck, like they're just going to KO it with Dusknoir.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you need a 2-2. Like you need to be able to have a Rabska like a second Rabska in play to deal with Dusknoir if you can't Gus KO it. Um, and then you just kind of can chain Rabskas from there theoretically.
They can also
Is it good
boss
enough?
KO.
Yeah, they can also boss KO. Is it good enough? I don't know, but I don't know. It makes it hard for them to deal with it. A lot of the Dragapult lists right now are like some of them aren't even playing boss, but it's like a lot of them are playing like 3 counter catcher from what I saw at like the most recent Doom tournament. I guess that could have been something we looked at. Maybe we'll look at that going into Atlanta next weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
We'll
but
definitely
yeah,
spend next week's episode. The majority of next week's episode will be talking about Atlanta for sure,
yeah.
and we'll go super
Um,
deep into like online tournament results and stuff.
but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of. I feel like there's always we look at the City League results, but I feel like at the actual Champions League we see more than just the League results. We see like the evolution of the meta that's happening like among the players talking and maybe
Yeah,
some of the more recent City League results, you don't really fully see that until a major tournament happens. Like
yeah.
you
I
don't
mean,
really see the evolution of the meta happen. Like you can't really see it through City League results and League Cup results. You got to wait for the major tournament to happen. So this is stuff to like look at and kind of take in a little bit. But it's all building up towards the Champions League tournament this weekend.
and we saw that with this last Champions League, right? Where kind of the two biggest decks in Top Cut were Stall and Terrabox, which were both decks like Stall you saw a little bit at City Leagues, but it wasn't like super big. And then it dominated the Champions League. And then the Terrabox deck was basically a rogue deck almost for the tournament,
Yeah.
where like it was not on the radar at all. And then tons of great players played it.
Yep. Yep. And yeah, hopefully we see more of that. I'm excited to see what else players have cooked up going into this weekend. I'm just excited to watch some more Pokemon in general, man. I'm just like I'm loving the Pokemon TCG right now. Like there was that little bit of that lull, I feel like a month ago now, but it's kind of over. Everything's in swing week after week. It's all coming up. new sets, new formats, major tournaments. So I'm really excited for this weekend and next weekend. These back to back majors. What's after that? There's like another. No, then we have like a week off. There's major tournaments. So there's no like stream or anything
Let's
the
get it.
following weekend.
Well, let's make a couple predictions for the Champions League this coming weekend. You're going to be streaming it, right? People can tune into your co-stream for that one.
Yep, it will just be Saturday. Like I said, it seems like it'll just be Saturday. I don't know why they're not streaming on Friday like they normally do, or Saturday for them, but that'll just be this day two stream happening. It seems like if there is a stream on Friday, I will be streaming it. But as far as I can tell, it seems like there's only going to be a stream on Saturday. So it'll be like day two on, which is the longer day as well, and the day where they reveal the new card. So all that will be happening on Saturday. It's going to be a late day for sure, or a long day.
All right. Let's make some predictions. Will there be a non-Japanese player in cuts? Now, we saw Tord get top cut at the last Champions League, and we know that there's quite a few players who are making their journey over for this one. It looks like Tord's going back. I think I saw Rahul was going back to this one as well. I saw Lucas Zing post that he's over there as well.
Yeah, there
I
could be
think
a couple more that are.
Grant Shin is over there, but I think I remember seeing that he didn't get in, so he may
Mhm.
or may not be competing as well.
Yeah, and there might be other ones as well that we're unaware of. So I'm really excited to see that kind of international competition
Oops.
go on for sure. And I think with the assumption that there was more non-Japanese players going over this time than there was last time, and we did see one in cut in Tord. I'm gonna go ahead and say there will be a non-Japanese player in Top Cut.
I'm gonna be a little bit of a Debbie Downer here.
Oh my
Bro, there's gonna be like less than 10 of them, and there's 5,000 Japanese players.
dude, you have no faith. This is
I'm
actually
being a
insane.
realist. I want to get the prediction correct. I would love for any of these non-Japanese players to go win the whole thing. It would be so sick. But realistically, nah, bro, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. No non-Japanese players in Top Cut. That's my prediction.
All right. Whatever you say, Chip. You're no fun. Uh, next prediction we're gonna do, although it doesn't really actually pertain to like the new set at all. It is a new format, first major tournament. Actually, it's not even just like a. And it is kind of weird as well. Like that correlate that like the way things line up in Japan versus us. This is the only major tournament that will happen in this format. It'll be one major tournament in this format.
Yeah.
With Heat Wave legal, just Heat Wave without the Rockets Pokemon. Um, what a spec do you have in the winning deck, Chip?
Um, it is a tough call to be honest. And I don't know that there's like a super easy answer for this one. Like, I mean, numbers wise, I think like Prime Catcher or Sparkling Crystal are probably the safest two to guess. Looking at the decks, Sparkling Crystal in like either Dragapult or Terra Box, right? Um, but I'm gonna go.
There does seem to be a decent variety of ace specs in this format in
There
general.
definitely is. I mean, there's just so many A specs, right? They made so many A specs. Like one of them was just down bounds to be pretty good. You know what? I'm gonna go with unfair stamp.
Mm, it's not too crazy.
I'm gonna go with
They're gonna get a
unfair
little bit
stamp.
crazy. All right, I'm gonna go with Secret Box.
Secret box. Okay.
Go with Secret Box. I actually honestly don't even know what decks are playing Secret Box for sure right now. Hopefully, I'm predicting Secret Box, but hopefully that doesn't mean that. Yeah, I'm really hoping that does not mean that Poison Archaladon wins the tournament because that definitely plays Secret Box pretty often. I think.
That's like one of the main ones. All right, let me show you this. I've clicked on just random City League tournaments. I was looking at decks, trying to figure out like what I thought would do well. What do you notice looking through the decks in this City League? The top
Noi
16 here.
Noivern,
So there's the Noivern. Yeah, that's a little interesting, but that's not what I'm pointing out here. What else?
Typhlosion Dragapult,
Nope.
Armarouge
Nope.
Ho-Oh.
Nope. Nope. Look again.
Okay, let me take a Golden Goat.
Typhlosion Dragapult? What is it? Typhlosion. Is that a Dragapult?
that not a Dragapult?
It's a Dracloak, bro. It's Typhlosion Dracloak.
Just the Loke for the draw engine? Is Dracloak truly just the best draw engine right now? Is that what
It
we've
might
come
he
to?
might be the guy, bro.
Sheesh. I guess I was like the Revavroom is probably better, but you don't have the energy to like support Revavroom in this deck, probably.
I saw this and had to do a double take because like that's Dragapult.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
that's not Dragapult. What
It
is
looks like
this?
Dragapult.
He's Dragapult Jr., bro.
Little Timmy Pult right there.
Timmy Pult.
Dude, I was just like now that I just said little Timmy, dude,
If you were to get Top Cut at Worlds and they have you fill out your like what you want your deck to be named as a Worlds deck if it gets printed, and you're playing Typhlosion Dracloak for some reason, it has to be Timmy Pult.
Timmy Pult.
Timmy Pult is the deck name.
Oh, yeah. Well, Timmy Pult. Um, yeah. Do we have another prediction? I think we had one more prediction, right?
Yeah, yeah, we got
Oh yeah.
one more prediction. And I guess this is a good transition talking about the Typhlosion Dracloak deck. Uh, one of the, and we talked about this at the start of the City League segment as well. One of the cards that feels like it's had the biggest impact is the Typhlosion. So, how many decks in the top 16 cut are going to have Typhlosion in them?
I'm gonna go with. It definitely seems like the Typhlosion hype has died off a little bit. Looking at these City League results, I feel like a week or two ago there was more Typhlosion in the winning decks, but I'm still gonna go with three. I have some faith in Typhlosion, Typhlosion Pulse, Typhlosion Golden Go, Typhlosion Timmy Pulse. Like it can be played in a wide variety of decks. So I got Typhlosion. Give me two Typhlosion decks. Give me two.
Two
We'll go two.
Typhlosion for Azul. And I'm gonna go with the three. I think people are gonna
Okay.
bust it out. It's a super efficient one prize attacker. It's got its own. It's like a mini. It's like its own little mini deck within your actual deck.
Yeah, you got a little mini game there. Get all your Ethans in the discard pile.
Yeah,
Or was it Adventure? What was it called again? Ethan's Adventure?
Ethan's adventure.
Yeah. Get all your Ethans in the discard pile.
All
It
right.
is really funny that the Ethan's deck just does not play it, like the Ho-Oh Magargo
Yeah.
deck. That's what we said, right? When we were like looking at it, it's like there's no way you play the Typhlosion in here. It doesn't make
There's
any
no
sense.
bench space. There's no like.
Yeah.
It doesn't help your engine. You gotta draw more cards.
Yeah, we need to find our fire energy for our Ho to accelerate. And it's like, yep, just don't play it.
Yeah.
Don't play it.
All right, Azul. Well, that's gonna do it for our episode this week. You got anything else you want to say to the people?
No, I think that'll be it. Send us out.
Yeah, appreciate everyone's support as always. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. And if you do enjoy, be sure to leave us a like, a review, a rating, comment, subscribe. All those things help us out a bunch. Let more people discover the podcast, figure out what we're doing over here. If you want to stay up to date with myself and Azul, the best place to do it is over on Twitter. You can follow myself at Chipritchy Azul at Azul_GG. And you can follow the podcast at Uncommon_Energy.
Appreciate the support as always. I was gonna say, I guess good luck to anyone playing in Japan this weekend. See y'all next Wednesday, 7 a.m. Eastern.